And then suddenly you're there. And then you're sitting in the bush and you're like watching the herds of impala go by. Can I come? I'm into this.
Yes. Today's guest is an incredible performer whose voice, charm, and range have lit up the stage in some of the most unforgettable shows of the past decade. You probably know him from making audiences swoon as Bob Gaudio in Jersey Boys, originating the role of Dr. Pomander in Waitress, or rocking out as Jeff Beebe in Almost Famous in what is arguably one of my favorite wigs of all time. That wig, I dream about it. It was so good and bad.
That wig's name was Vanessa. And I'm not even kidding. And Vanessa, I tried to take Vanessa home with me, but Vanessa was too expensive. There was a discussion about it, and they were like, "We'd love to give her to you," but I was like, "I can't afford you."
Yeah, I wish you lots of go to space money one day so you can buy Vanessa and bring her to your home.
Yeah, I need that Bezos money to make that happen.
We're trying to make that happen. Well, we have the incredible human here next to me who is also rewriting history literally as Shakespeare, showing that the bard can have some fun at pop star energy. And so hello, Drew.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me, Mel. Appreciate
Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, you called me Mel.
You know what? Because we're tight.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We did talk about some things off camera that just made me feel a little like I need maybe a restraining order or some distance from you.
I didn't know that it was that intense. I feel bad now. I'm just going to take a slow, quiet sip of this coffee.
Okay, Drew, what is something that people get wrong about you?
The pronunciation of my last name.
How do people pronounce it?
Gehling.
Gehling?
Gehling.
Gehling. You're adding letters there. That
I don't know. It's an odd thing. It's you just kind of so I became a pilot like over the course of the pandemic, and really the only major skill that I gained from that was I can use like the NATO alphabet. So, and my wife laughs at me all the time because if I'm ever on the phone and someone asks me to spell my name, I like get giddy and I'll be like Gehling. G is in golf, E is in echo, H is in hotel, L is in Lima, I is in November, I is in India, N is in November, G is in golf.
I love it. Yeah, I would do the same, like S as in Sierra, U as in uniform, T as in tango. And I'm just like, I'm annoyed with this.
Yeah.
But it's a good last name. Yeah. It is a good last name. Okay. So before we dive into the deep end, I have some questions I have to ask.
Go.
Number one, who do you prefer? Shakespeare's Anne Hathaway or Princess Diaries Anne Hathaway?
They're both pleasantly goofy.
Yes.
Right? They've both got a lot of like similar energies. I've got to go with Shakespeare's Anne Hathaway just because I think Alison Luff would kill me if I said otherwise.
I mean, that role, it just seems so fun.
Yeah, it's really well written and really, really fun to watch an audience and rather experience an audience fall in love with her instantly. You know, there's just something that they all can identify with immediately about somebody who shows up and is just there and leading purely from the heart. It's fun to witness, and it's great to kind of be the foil to that every night. That's fun.
Do you have a favorite line from the show?
Yeah, it's when I get to say the Scottish play, like it just lands every night. David West Reed, who wrote the book, also wrote the entirety of Schitt's Creek, was the showrunner on Schitt's Creek. So
insane.
You can hear the cadence in the script without I mean, it's really easy to pick up on that. But Shakespeare has a really great line that she goes, "Never once has William Shakespeare portrayed a happy marriage." And he goes, "Thou liest. I'm working on a play about a happy marriage. It's called Macbeth. I think you might not like it." And it's like, it works like a champ. The audience it just is one of those like litmus tests to know if the audience is with you or not. And they absolutely are every time. And I think it just speaks to the strength of the book.
I recently saw Anne Juliet again for the first time in a little
did?
while. It was so good. And I was literally like, as you rose from the ground, and I was like, there's Drew. You and your skinny jeans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Skinny jeans. So when I think of skinny jeans, I think of certain bands that I may have liked. In terms of your favorite bands, boy band or ska band.
You know what's fun? Unfair question. I know I was like kind of recognizing this the other day. I was because I put on like a '90s mix on my you know how your like Spotify and Apple Music knows you
Yes.
now because we've all been listening to it for so long that it
Mhm.
just kind of knows what I'm into and what I'm not. And my '90s and my aughts were not boy band heavy. They were like it was more like REM, like Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden.
Mm.
I was like Nirvana. I was much more grunge. So skinny jeans were never really a thing that I rocked until much later in
Recently
life.
in your
Yeah,
life?
until much later, and now I can't peel them off me.
Well, what's funny is I feel like skinny jeans are a specific vibe, but they're also a very different vibe on someone who is so tall.
I know. And also, like, we don't wear skinny jeans anymore now. It's like, it was
No.
like such a blip that now when I put them on in the show, or I wore some pants that were like a little more tight fitting the other day, and one of the younger cast members was like, buddy, what are you wearing right now? And I was like, well, these are my pants. They were like, from 2018? Like, unfair question. Yes, they are from 2018. And I'm a dad, and I need to replace my wardrobe every now and then, I
I
think.
kind of feel like you need to keep them. Hold on to those skinny jeans as long as
Yeah, because you know
possible.
what? They'll come back around again, won't they? And if I can still fit into them, badge of honor.
Is there a trend that you think needs to die? My example,
Go.
there was this time of galaxy print, but it was specifically galaxy print with cats.
What are you
It's like
talking about?
space, like it's like aurora borealis, but like purples and greens, and then there'd be like a cat in the middle of it.
I don't I don't know what that is. It sounds like it's a trend that should die.
Yes.
I don't a trend that should die. Oh, no, I'm gonna say something and get me in trouble.
Say it.
I don't know. I feel like TikTok should die. I
Where
feel
am I gonna get my cat videos?
that's a fair question. That's a fair question. I don't know. I almost feel bad saying it because I have a lot of friends that it's their actual job. Um, and it's a really great job, and it's kind of the new TV, right? And maybe this is what everybody said about TV, but I feel like it becomes a bit of a time suck.
It
And
absolutely becomes
and
a time
like
suck.
there's a time and place for a time suck, but I could
Is
I
the
could I could let it go.
is part of that time suck writing Hallmark movies?
Uncool.
Oh, is
Yes.
it?
Yeah,
Is it, Andrew?
I worked on that was actually a really fun thing. I did a show like in 2017, I did a show called Roman Holiday. It was an out of town tryout in San Francisco, and I worked with this wonderful guy named Kevin Duda, who was in the original company of Book of Mormon. And at the time, he was kind of transitioning out of acting and started going to work for Hallmark. And he was like, "Do you have any ideas about like Hallmark Christmas movies?" And my wife Julia and I actually like sat down one night and just kind of like gamed out a couple of ideas. And then I was like, Jules, do you mind if I like run with a couple of these? And she was like, yeah, totally. And I so kind of like gamed out and fleshed out some stories. And then the pandemic happened. And during the pandemic, like Kevin and I kind of put together the story of one of these things. And then it ended up kind of getting made into a full blown movie on Hallmark, which was nuts because like the story that we came up with and the story that ended up actually ending up on screen
Mhm.
was vastly different. Like small things would stay the same, but like those things get bigger and bigger and bigger. I feel like you said you go in for Hallmark things all the
I
time.
do all the time, and I love them.
I
What
have
is
yet
good
to
for
do one.
you?
It
How
seems
have
like
you
they're
not
really.
done one
They
yet?
feel like they'd be really fun to do. I feel like they'd be really fun.
I think in a world where, I think a lot of times being a bad person sometimes gets rewarded, or at least it feels that way in the media.
Hmm.
So I love the Hallmarks. I love the Marvels where it's pretty clear who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
And usually it's like this douchey guy from New York who is all buttoned up and like talks into his phone aggressively and like yells at his mom. And I like knowing that was highly specific.
Oh, yes, it
I
is mom. That
I don't
really
know.
that's the immediate trigger for everybody. It's like, oh my
Truly.
god, he's mean to his mom.
Honestly, if
Get him
someone's mean to
out.
their mom, I'm like, send that person to
Get
jail.
him out
Get
directly to
out.
jail.
So
Straight to jail.
watch shows, when I watch the Hallmarks and the Marvels, I'm like, I like being in a space where you see who is good and who is bad, and you see the people who are bad get punished for being bad.
Mm.
I don't know what that says about me.
No, but you appreciate a good story.
I do. I do. Okay. So speaking of good
Hit
stories,
me.
what is one role that got away? The one that you were like, I wish I had booked this and that you didn't.
You know what's funny? I'm doing it right now. I wish that I had gotten to play Shakespeare earlier, and the fact that it kind of came around when it did has been a real blessing because it's meant that I've gotten to be here in the city. We get to make 1,000 people happy every night. It's one of the best things that I've gotten to do.
There's so much joy in that theater all throughout the show, and
Yeah.
especially when the confetti comes out. Ah,
I
my heart
want
like lit up.
Yeah, you watch 1,000 people just collectively lose their minds. It's pretty great. It's pretty great, and it's nice to be in, like, the joy factory every now and then. I mean, it's very all kinds of storytelling are important, right? But to be a part of something that appeals to very, very young people as well, and can be the first way in which that they, like, dip their toes into the theater, and it's something that can be appealing to them and, I don't know, dare I say educational, can is really is fun to be a part of and rewarding in a lot of ways. Like, I've gotten to, like, bring a whole class from my daughter's school to see the show, you know? And that's I've never gotten to do something like that because the parts I usually play tend to be a little more complicated, or the shows tend to be a little bit more adult, skewing adult,
You
or
weren't bringing 5-year-old Annie to go see the full thing of
you know
Waitress?
what? 5-year-old
What?
Annie eventually did get to see Waitress, but it wasn't until we came back, like, after the pandemic.
Where do you want your career to go from here? You've done so many
You know
things.
what? I, like, really I try not to think too much about this. I feel like as actors, especially, it's really easy to become very concerned with, forward momentum and forward motion and trying to think about the next thing and networking and making sure that you're seen in a certain way,
Mhm.
doing a certain thing. And it gets away from a lot of people that the most important thing that we're doing is just being storytellers. And we're being vessels of the storytellers that are writing these things. You know what I mean? In a lot of development, it's easy to kind of fall into a mindset of, oh, I'm also a writer, and one can also be an amazing writer and also an actor, but to understand where one's place is in a story is like the thing that I'm coming to a lot more as I age. So as where I want to go is continue to get to tell interesting stories, and as like my body car changes over time, because we age and we get older, and like that tells a different story
Everything
sometimes.
hurts.
Everything hurts,
Ugh.
you know? As I enter different phases of my like life and career as an actor, it's nice to kind of know that um that's a moving target as opposed to trying to plan what that's going to be. I'm really interested to see how the skill set that I'm building and gaining over the course of years of doing this is finding its place in our business and the canon of stories that are being told.
I feel like in the canon of Drew Gehling stories being told, I feel like one of the common threads is everything is, I don't know, a reflection of humanity, but it always is like light. It's never, I'm going to make you ugly cry for the next 16 years.
Fair. Yeah. I don't know. I think we are all beautifully messy, right? And I feel like I've always gravitated towards characters that are really struggling to get it together, or struggle or trying to show everyone that they have it together.
Hmm.
And and I don't know, there's something that probably says something about me personally and what I'm working on. But it I find those kinds of characters really, really appealing to play. I think that's it's definitely something that I gravitate to.
One of my favorite Shakespeare stories really is Romeo and Juliet. And
Oh, I never read it.
I actually don't really know what it's about. The
Yeah.
guy lives, yeah? Everybody lives?
No.
Ugh. So I remember when I was auditioning for like conservatory programs and like
Where did you go?
I went to graduated from Cal State East Bay in the Bay
Nice.
Area, and then I went to Stella Adler.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I did go, but
Is
that's
this
another
it,
story for
is
another
this something
day.
we're gonna cut that? We're gonna cut this.
No,
This is all
I
gonna
love
be
it.
cut.
Keep it in.
Cut.
No, we're keeping it in.
Cool.
But what was interesting is one of the pieces I did was one of my pieces to get into conservatory was from Romeo and Juliet. And I always thought that I'm like, bro, why don't we rewrite this? They couldn't have just had a conversation. They couldn't have waited like 3 days. Been like, I know I think I'm in love with this person I just met and I don't really know him, but like, let's get married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you actually rewrite Romeo and Juliet if you could?
No, because and not because oh great, Shakespeare's the greatest playwright of all time. Given I'm in a real interesting spot recently about changing stuff because there is when we become like afraid of ugliness in theater especially and in storytelling we kind of rob we take something out of the play like those kinds of stakes that get created by the situation that is written in is what is so tragic about it, right? And I think I don't know. A lot of the time we go like, oh, that's not going to hold up now. That's not going to hold up now. Rather than going, okay, let's lean in. Why? How can we justify what literally is happening here? Versus how can we go like, it's a little icky. We could change this. We could change that. I don't know. It's such a funny thing. But in terms of Romeo and Juliet, it's like that's a no-win scenario, isn't it? Because
Correct.
you can't, I mean,
How else could it possibly end?
yeah, we
Like,
would love it if it was a rom-com, because who doesn't love a rom-com? Like, give me a Nora Ephron, Nancy Meyers rom-com,
oh
like
no.
every day of the week.
Nora Ephron, no. I want okay, I love Made in Manhattan. I love Man of
Wait,
Honor.
are you ready for this? Are you ready for
I'm
this?
so ready.
Guess who was in my dressing room yesterday for the Roundabout Gala? You are correct. Jennifer Lopez. I wrote her a little note. I said, thank you so much. Please make yourself at home. I left you some Grethers pastilles here for your voice so you can like sing your song. Please sign something in the dressing room. I haven't been back to see if she signed anything. And
She did.
we'll have to do
I
a
know.
follow-up interview where I tell you if J-Lo actually signed something in my dressing room or
Oh
not.
my gosh. Wait, that is so special.
It is kind of special.
Oh, true.
I don't know. The theater community is cool. It's like every now and then we get to you're reminded that you're a part of something that's really special and a community of people uh, that drama aside really care about what we do and what we work on and how, and that's a community that I'm really lucky to be a part of.
I was talking with Erich Bergen earlier, and
Ugh,
not only did he have amazing things to
what do you
say
say
about
about me? What do you say
Ugh.
about me?
I guess, should we say? I think I'm just gonna wait. Oh. Well, without knowing what he said about you, what would you like to say to him? He did ask what your opinion was of him.
Did he really?
He did. He did.
I saw Bergen in Boop the other last Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago.
It's so pure.
He is hilarious.
Hilarious.
And like, that's a perfect example of like, okay, I am playing a bad guy. How do I thread the needle and make everyone collectively understand that this is a bad guy, but also love hating him? And like, when I think of people that can do that effortlessly, Bergen, top of the list. I'm like, that guy just gets it.
He gets it.
He gets it.
He's so multi-talented and also
Yep.
wildly intelligent, articulate, and I think someone who just wants to tell good stories
Yep.
and like be a good person.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's all we can really do, isn't it? Because that's I don't know. That's why we're here. That's why we're put here. We're kind of cut from a certain cloth that at some point in your life starts off as a look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me cloth, like, but eventually kind of transitions to, okay, now I have your attention. What do I want to say? And I don't know, it's nice to be surrounded by people that have good hearts.
I 100% agree about that, and I've kind of lived in, like, the film, TV, commercial world
Hmm.
for quite some time, and one thing that I really don't feel in that, especially in the self-tape world, is I feel like I create work and I film it and I'm basically my own lighting designer. I do all the things and send it out. And then that's it. And then like, yes, then sometimes I book and that's great. But I don't feel like post pandemic that there's a community unless you're actually like a series regular on a show. Whereas the theater community, it really feels like a community. It's a bunch of people, a bunch of outsiders, and a little bit some weirdos, some tall, gangly Drew Galings.
It's like immediately referring to me. But yeah, there's something weird about the fact that we're doing the same thing every day, that we have to find other ways to vary the time that we're not doing that very specific thing. Oh, and to wait, let's go back to that question you asked me before, like what needs to go away?
Yes.
Self-tapes.
Bless.
Self-tapes.
Bless you.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
I apologize to all of my friends, and like I have very talented friends in casting that self-tapes has like made their job in a lot of ways a lot easier. I think it's made filmmakers' jobs and theater makers' jobs a lot harder, because what is an audition? It's a vibe check. It's a
Really
vibe check.
is. Snaps
It
all around.
Because like, come on, like everybody's good. Everybody's good. Everybody can sing. Everybody's a good actor. And given the right circumstances, given 300 takes at home, you're going to be amazing. You're good.
Correct.
Everybody can be amazing. You don't have that kind of time on set. Like, and can we? And then, oh great, so the only way that we can really figure out if we can do that or not is we're going to have a Zoom session. Everyone's favorite medium of communication. We're going to Zoom and figure out if you can take a note over Zoom. Get me out of here. And I didn't mean to get so heated about this.
No, I love
didn't
it.
mean to get so
I
heated
feel
about
the
this.
same way.
But it's and if you don't have thousands of dollars at your disposal to set up a home setup, if you don't have a spouse that's funny, a good actor, a good like coach, or significant other, or a group of friends that are willing to come over and work for free, then you're going to have to pay somebody to do it. You're going to have to go pay it. Like, just what about if there's 2 hours that you can see people? Let's see whoever we can see in 2 hours who's here.
Yes.
And then you go, all right, we're finding what we need, or we're not. Then we can we're looking at tapes. Like inevitably you're going to look at tapes, but like you got to meet that person in the room.
I 100% agree.
Because that's a person you're going to have to spend a day with on set. And what if you guys don't get along? What if you don't get along?
Absolutely. I will say the
Ruin
one
everybody's day.
correct. The one shining spot of self-tapes for me is I feel bad for my casting
No
friends.
pants.
Oh, I love not wearing pants.
No pants.
I'm not even wearing pants right now.
Neither am I.
With the right-
Wait, you got my knees. Yeah, they can see. I'm a terrible liar.
You really are, but also you're a great actor. So like, I guess that means you're a great liar.
I did a betting thing last night. We did this thing called Broadway Bets, which is something that Broadway Cares does, where a bunch of people play poker for Broadway Cares, and I was awful at it.
Are you surprised that you were awful at it?
No, I mean, I never really consider. I'm not a good poker player. I've got friends that are really good poker players, but my God, we can cut all that. That was a sidebar.
No, I'm into it.
That was a sidebar.
I love sidebars. I feel like that's my whole brain. I will tell, that whole thing of like, oh, long story short. Mine is short story long and longer with 16 side quests. And I'm like, how did we get here? But also, they were all instrumental in the conversation.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do love about self-tapes is for the performers and actors who live in Wisconsin, or, maybe you dream of being in a certain show and you could not make it to New York, could not make it to LA. Those people, I mean, God bless them. They get to audition for roles. But personally, we got into this business because we want to connect. And I did not want to connect by learning how to be a good auditioner. Being a good auditioner and being a good actor are two different things.
True. And that's always been the case, right? I mean, the skill of auditioning has always been its own animal.
It's an art.
And I wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. And I don't mean to say that like I wouldn't want to gatekeep and say like, well, sorry if you're not here, then you no place for you. Like that, absolutely not
It'd
the
be
case.
nice to at least have an option to go in person.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would love that.
yeah. But I don't know. I just think that is, to your point, like that's how we build community, and community is really our best asset. Like the best thing that we make is a peer group of people that hold each other accountable and make each other better by working together.
One thing that I really love about theater is it very much feels like a community of people lifting each other up. I am at this place because I'm standing on the shoulders of all these people before me. And, it's sometimes I think as an actor and as an artist, I think of like, oh gosh, if I don't book this, then that means someone else is getting ahead for me. And
Mhm.
with theater, I think it all comes around. Like if you are, obviously the talent has to be there, but if you're a talented person and you are kind and you are open, you continue to lift each other up.
Yeah.
And I think in film, TV, sometimes it doesn't feel like that because it feels like, oh, if you book this, then I'm not going to book XYZ. And then you start to look at the trajectories of other people and you're looking to see like, am I where
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be? Is someone
Yeah.
else ahead? It's a weird thing.
Yeah. Is that the social media aspect of it, do you think? Of like looking around and going, okay, well, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. As opposed to where am I? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
I think that has a
How many
lot to do with it.
cliches did I just use in that?
I think you used them all correctly, so
question.
you did great. It was very Shakespearean of you. Let's just throw out all these
Ugh,
things.
yeah.
At least you're not wearing skinny jeans, so that's
Not anymore. I changed right before I came here.
well, but then you will change back into them. So
Yep. My hand
good
embroidered
luck.
skinny jeans.
They're hand embroidered.
They are. It's Broadway.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They've got a little special sauce in them.
They're doing great. What is the best part of being in and Juliet, and why is it Joey Fatone with an accent?
Dude, Joey Fatone, I did not expect to have such a good time working with him. Like, obviously, I've known who that person was since I was a teenager. And it's obviously not, and it's not his first rodeo either. I mean, he's done several Broadway shows. He's no stranger to this environment. His work ethic is excellent. He's a really stand-up guy. He is very professional, and he's hilarious. So I have no notes for the Fatone. He is excellent at his job. He's a great coworker, and that guy is I feel so lucky that I get to hang out with him every day. He's great.
Could you give me your best Joey Fatone in his character impression? That accent
No.
had me rolling on the ground.
I plead the fifth on this because it will. First of all, I'm terrible at impressions.
Same.
Second of
I'm
all,
so bad.
So all I do know is that we have a moment like right before we come on stage to do the boy band scene. And it's on stage where we I'm gassing him up and telling him like, oh my God, you're never gonna believe this. And we just lock eyes. And 2 nights ago, he just leaned in and just touched noses with me. And we just sat here and rubbed our noses back and forth for maybe 5 straight seconds. And it defied logic and explanation. And would I say that it stopped time for me in that weird metaphysical way? It did. I walked off stage and I was like, what is my life? What is my life? What are we doing?
What
This
are
is
we
great.
doing? He gave you a little nosy.
And the
Just-
audience is going bonkers. They think they're on the ride of their lives, and it's really lovely.
And Juliet is
And Juliet is is chaos. Is chaos in the best way, and it is one of the most. It's some of the most fun I've had in my entire life working with these people.
Oh, that
on the
makes
show.
my heart so happy. I think one thing that I just absolutely
Oh, wait.
that-
You can probably hear it. Housekeeping is happening. We are in the Stay Gold Suite at the Chatwall Hotel. Sidebar. It was at the Lambs Club downstairs where I had my first date with my now wife. We were both 20 minutes late.
That's meant to
20
be.
minutes late. Completely just like, sorry, when we both just walked up. Like, you two, both late.
Okay, so I have to admit, I mean, not even admit, because I already told you. The only reason I wanted you here is to talk about your wife.
Let's plug it. Let's get
She's
to it. Everything that
incredible.
has happened before this, we can cut.
Honestly, unnecessary.
I am her biggest fan. What do you want to know? Let's talk Madison because she's from the Bay Area too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
love the Bay.
Yeah.
What is it like to be in an industry where you get to share something so special with your partner and have it not be competition?
It's like gonna get me a little emotional. It's really, really special to watch someone that you love and care about absolutely ace it. And then to have that be met with the kind of joy and appreciation that that they themselves put into it is just fantastic. It's one of those moments where you watch like everybody that knows her could not be happier and could not be more proud. And I find it my utter and complete honor that I get to carry her purse for the next several weeks because like it is so deserved and everything that is being said about the show is true. And I can't wait for more people to see it. And I can't wait for y'all to see what she works on next because her creativity, her humor, and her love of entertainment and entertaining people has no bounds.
Andrew. You make my heart so happy.
Got me good a little bit.
It.
Didn't expect to get there, but okay.
Well,
she's really awesome, and it's really cool to see.
Absolutely. I was at the album release party for
Oh, you were?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to go. I was doing a musical. How was it? Was it fun?
It was so much fun.
That album's awesome.
It was such a vibe. Everyone was having the best time, and it was truly a celebration of that beautifully messy part of life. And I think it really goes to what you were saying. It also makes sense why like you two found each other. Because you're two people who showed up to dates 20 minutes late.
Yep.
But also two people
any type A person that would have been a real deal breaker.
The way I would have been like, excuse me, what? I have to leave. 20 minutes late? How dare you? We would not have, I would have left.
To be fair, we were both in communication about it.
Okay.
It wasn't like a cold 20 minutes late. That would have been unforgivable probably. For both of us, we probably just would have been like, well, no. But the fact that it was like, hey, I'm running super late, and it was met with, oh, thank God, I too am running super late. And then to have us like walk up at the same time was like, okay, we're good. We're gonna be good.
It is such a special thing to see someone who truly sees you and to share a life and to create a world together where you get to help each other rise and where it isn't competitive. I don't think I could ever date an actor again.
Are you a person that feels competitive with your fellow actors? Is that something? Because I don't know, everyone kind of is. I mean, I am a competitive person for sure, but like, there's something I think that's something I've shed as time has gone by. I don't kind of feel that like you or me mentality. Is that something do you feel that ever?
That is such a good question, Drew. I think when I was younger, I used to feel that way.
Yeah.
I used to really think that like if someone else succeeded, there couldn't be room for me. And I think it was because growing up, I didn't see people who looked like me on camera. What's wild is, I mean, I grew up loving Harry Potter, and I remember thinking, how is it that there are dragons the size of houses and there is a ghost named Myrtle who like lives in the plumbing of like the girls' bathroom, and there are minotaurs and there are mermaids, but there's no one who looks like me? That is wild.
Yeah.
And so it used to feel like, oh, I would watch shows and I was like, oh, there's someone who's mixed. There's someone who looks like me. Oh, she's got a similar energy. And she also is a brunette. Got it. There's no place for me. And then I think as I get older, I realize that I just want to clap for everyone. I
Hmm.
want to clap for everyone. I want to cheer them on. I want to lift them up. And I still want to do my work and know that at some point it'll be my turn.
Hmm.
And that's kind of where I live right now of it doesn't have to be me or you.
Hmm.
And I think speaking to your point about social media, sometimes I just have to log off because it is a highlight reel. And I just want to make sure that it's me versus me. Am I better than I was? Am I better than I will be? Like, who am I going to be 10 years from now? Am I going to look back on this time and go, I'm really proud of the way I showed up?
Yeah. Was I filling my cup
Was I
when I
filling my
could?
cup? Was I using my candle to light other people's candles?
Yeah.
Recognizing that the flame continues to grow,
Yeah.
you know?
Speaking of which, thank you for having me on your show. I don't know if I said that
True.
already. Speaking of like using your candle lighter candles, thank you for like letting me come and talk out my ass for I'm just talking in
I just
circles
wanted
most
to
of the
talk about
time.
Julia. I just wanted to talk about Madison.
Honestly,
And
and
so
it's
here we
clearly where
are.
I'm the most comfortable talking. But thanks again. I appreciate.
Thank you for being here. It's been so wonderful to see your career. I remember you were actually my first Dr. Pomander.
Was it really?
Yeah, you were. And one thing that really there's there's so many things that really strike me about you, but one thing in particular is sometimes I feel like as an artist, if you go and have a life outside of the arts, that you're wasting your time for better or worse. Of like, I when I was not in a good headspace, sometimes when people would ask me for advice and they'd say, "Oh, like I want to be an actor so bad," and me being in a not great headspace would be like, "Well, if there's anything else you'd rather be doing, go do that because this business is hard." And what a not great thing to say to people who
Mm,
just want to dream. To
mm-hmm.
shut down those dreams, I'm like, Melanie, you are not in a good place then,
Mm.
you know?
I know, but you only can be where you are at that given moment, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, I don't know, for me, it's always been true as a working professional as well, which is that like, I'm not going to be Aaron Tveit. I'm not going to be Erich Bergen. I'm not going to be, and when we first were here
I
in the
mean, you and
city,
Eric Bergen had similar roles
well, what's
for a
so
bit.
wild is, yeah, but when you first arrive in the city, you're immediately put into, oh, we're going to put you in this pile.
Mhm.
And so when you go to audition for things, you're going to see the same 5 people in the waiting room every
Yes.
time. And that's to the point about community. Like that's how I met Aaron and how I met Matt Kavanaugh, how I met Bergen and like Jeremy Jordan and
Bless Jeremy Jordan.
God bless Jeremy Jordan.
He is the only man I want to see in a cave
He's
on a lawn chair.
so lovely. He is so lovely. And but and like that was how I met all those guys. And you very quickly you learn like, oh, I just gotta be me. I just gotta be me because like if I go in there trying to do him, I it's gonna look weird. Or it's gonna feel weird for me, and then God forbid I get that job because then I'm just doing someone else and I gotta approach it with my own body car, my own skill set and my own way of working in order to get to the heart of whatever it is that we're trying to do. And luckily, I guess you're able to kind of if you get to kind of carve a little like island out for yourself, a little bit of how in which you work, then at least you can say, that was all me. I figured that out and I put those pieces together on my own and that was mine. And that's a good feeling to get to have, whether it's on a huge stage or whether it's in a short film or whether it's in a very small playhouse somewhere or if it's in a regional production or in a college production or anything. It's nice to be able to say, all right, the work that I did is mine, and and I was able to collaborate with people that I really liked and work with.
Absolutely.
Ugh,
And
yeah.
I feel like you have spent so much time building a really full life. I think that's wildly important. Um, I think sometimes I think of the years where I wasn't able to make a full-time living as a creative, and I had jobs where I'm just like, "What am I doing? Like, what is happening?" But then I think about the fact that you were pre-med
Yeah.
and you actually then ended up originating the role of Dr. Pomander and like
I went and ended up playing a doctor. I know it's weird, but we all have like a side hustle,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that's what makes you interesting. If all you're doing is one thing and one thing only gets old quick, even if it's the thing that you like, right? I don't know. It's so weird. And do you ever have this experience when you're talking to young people about working, which is going, all right, what happens when the thing that is a hobby that you love becomes like your job? And that's a real Broadway question.
It
Like,
is.
because like Broadway's really one of the only places where it's like, okay, the run is longer than 3 months. And if you're lucky, you're all of a sudden like, oh great, I've got a show, and you're in a show for like a year. I did Jersey Boys on and off for 7 years. On and off, on and off.
That's a
And
long
Eric did too.
time.
Like we like it was a long time. And it just meant that like what do you do with like your days are free. And I got really into developing new shows. So I
Mm.
would do like lots of readings and workshops, and would do that during the day, and then would do uh and would do the show at night, and that just becomes like a completely different animal of like, okay, it's a grind. How that goes, and how do you take the thing that was a hobby and now it's a gig all the time?
Something I always heard was the idea that don't don't put the pressure on your art to make you money, at least to begin. I think there's something when you are auditioning for something, not because you so okay, let me start with this. Everything I do has to fall in one of three buckets. One, it has to be so good for my heart. I have to love it. I would do this for free. It is incredible.
Right.
Second bucket, if it's not incredible and if it doesn't do good for my heart, it has to be great for my resume. That way, maybe I'm in Titanic in the basement of a Gristedes. I was not, but that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Just to do things that just give you a level of learning
Uh-huh.
and just put you in a place where you can add to your resume. And if it's not helping my heart and if it's not helping my resume, it's got to make me a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So I can go and then do the other things that feed
hmm
in my heart and feed in my resume and all of that.
And then the skill becomes, how do you tweak any experience to fit into one of those buckets? Right. If it's like, it's not doing that, I got to find a way to like have it teach me something.
Has to. Because there was a point where I just loved being in a show. Like it just felt good. I love being in a show.
I love being
I
in the
love
show.
being in a
It's
show.
like I'm that's very much me, because if I just like having somewhere to go to every day.
Yes, yes.
It's like, is that just mean I think I just like structure, I'm just
Yeah.
like to that's why I went back to school for pre-med. It was like I need to like be working on something and doing something and learning something. And yeah, I'm with you. I'm fully with you on that.
It is a wonderful thing to have the structure and then also to, know, get to a point in in your life where you realize that time is not promised. You only get the days you get and you never know when it's going to end or yeah, I mean, especially during the pandemic and you being in a show that people loved and flocked to. I want to be a part of something that makes people happy,
Mhm.
brings people joy, makes people feel when they leave the theater or when they watch a movie that I'm in, they're like, "Okay, that was an escape."
Mhm.
If you weren't a performer, what do you think you'd be doing?
I think I kind of thought about this a lot recently. It's mentioned earlier, like I got my pilot's license. I think I would want to um do like fly for like organizations take that fly people in remote areas for medical service, and um in major metropolitan
Andrew!
areas. That's honestly, I like the to your point before, it's like it's about a life of service, right? Like what are we doing? Are we helping? And the great thing about the theater and the arts is the arts have an enormous benefit on society and youth and people who are I don't know, working at the bank around the corner well, there's no New Jersey Transit train, so I guess I'll stay in town for an extra 2 hours and catch a show so there's not insane traffic going home, and having a profound experience at some show that they got a ticket to at the last second. Like, we do great things. Um, and if I was not going to be doing that, I look at like what my skill set is, and I would want to be able to. I can do this certain thing, and I think that would be a great way to do that thing and move the needle for a person who wouldn't otherwise be able to do that. Huh. Well, probably what I'd do.
Okay,
What would you
that was
do?
so simple and
What would you
easy.
do?
Oh, if I wasn't a performer, somebody asked me that, and what made me really happy is that I would basically be doing the same things.
Hmm.
Like, well, somebody asked me, if money was no object, what would you be doing? And I went, this.
Oh yeah,
What else would I want? Like, to be
yeah.
able to tell stories, to meet people and help to humanize them, and to
Like,
have
we've obviously been doing it for no money for so long. Like, we're like,
for no
it's like,
money.
yeah, it's what we're wired to do.
Wait, actually, to your other question, if it was like illegal to be a performer, one of my I don't know,
In a world.
in a world, in another life, one thing that I would love to do actually is photograph the Great Migration. That's really random,
What?
but I would love to be a wildlife photographer and spend weeks out in the bush
Yeah.
and capturing these creatures that are just beautiful and majestic and that the majority of the world doesn't see. That's something I think. Wow. So I think part of that comes from I want to make people feel seen, and I want to show people the things that are beautiful in this
Yeah.
life.
That's really cool. That's really cool. The great thing about this is that that's something that we would do that. You could go.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed the Great Migration
I've
before?
never been, and I
That's
want to so
that sounds like
badly.
a bucket list thing for you. Is this something that I feel like this is something you should probably figure out how to do?
I think I absolutely should. It's funny. I think growing up, I was always an actor. I was a model. Everything was always in front of the camera. And
Hmm.
funny enough, during the pandemic, I decided to teach myself how to roller skate. And I had one really hard fall, and I realized, oh no, my face is literally my moneymaker. Can't do this.
It's that.
And then I think about capturing the Great Migration. I'm like, I can't get eaten by a lion. How would I make a living? And I'm like, girl, you would be in the side of a lion. You don't have to worry about
I'm not gonna have to worry about it. I'm not gonna have to worry about it.
Yeah, but I could make that happen.
You should make that happen. Honestly, I'm going to see you around, obviously,
You're
and
stuck with me
I
now.
will be asking you about this. Like, what are you doing to make that happen? Because
Please
I think
do.
that's something that you should definitely do. Because I did a weird thing. I have a buddy, Andrew Kober, who is also a Broadway guy. You should totally interview Andrew. Andrew's an excellent interview subject.
Amazing.
It was another one of the Andrews that is the reason that I changed my name to Drew.
One of those Andrews.
So we have this thing where we take very short trips with points. And
smart.
so we went to Lima, Peru for a day.
Wait, for a day?
For a day. The whole idea is that we leave on Sunday night after the show is over, and we go to the airport immediately after the show. We catch a plane that night, and we fly somewhere exotic. We wake up there. We spend the day there. We get on a plane, and we get back on Tuesday morning, and then we do our shows. It sounds very simple. It is, in fact, it sounds complicated. It's, in fact, very simple. The great thing about Peru is that it's in the same time zone as us, or at least for part of the year. So it was an 8-hour flight, but because it was overnight, we just slept on the plane, woke up in Peru, spent the entire day there, and then flew back. And the realization was, like, as he and I were sitting in the city square of Lima, Peru, as people were arriving at their jobs on Monday morning after we had flown overnight, he was like, this is his little espresso that he had.
Pinky out.
And he was like, the world's there. You just got to go. And I looked at him and I was like, you get away from me. You get out of here right now. Freaking me out. But it's true. It's true. And it's like, to express interest in something so specific like that for you got to do it. Got to do it. The world's there.
The world is there.
It's not that hard to get to.
No, it's not. And I don't think I'd get eaten by a lion.
No, they have guides. You wouldn't just go.
But I mean, imagine me being like, "Hi guys."
You find a guy, you find somebody, and you're like, "Listen, I want to do this thing," and they'll be like, "Yeah, totally, yeah, we'll take you." And then suddenly you're there, and then you're sitting in the bush, and you're like watching the herds of impala go by. Can I come? I'm into this.
Yes,
I'm into this idea.
You're in. Well, if Madison's in, then I guess you're in.
Yeah, Julia would be in. Julia's been on safari. She'd be down.
She's so cool.
I'm in. Okay, this sounds awesome.
True. Okay.
Travel plans. We're gonna get to this.
We are absolutely going to get to travel plans. I want all the travel for you.
Yeah, me too. I love traveling. It's my favorite. It's marvelous.
I know. Oh, I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like Anne Juliet's going anywhere anytime soon. Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm doing the show until August right now. Yeah.
So one tradition you have is saying goodbye for now when you do your final performance at a show. I know you've been doing it since you were a teenager.
Yeah.
Where did that come from, and why do you still do it?
What, the Happy Trails?
Well, don't you say goodbye for now?
Oh yeah. Well, goodbye for now.
And also, you had your Happy Trails moment. You already essentially left Anne Juliet when you made your late entrance. That was
the
so
great
funny.
thing about a long running show is that you gotta be willing to drag yourself. Like you gotta. If we take ourselves too seriously, then it all falls apart. But wait. I'm sorry. What was your question?
Oh, question. Yes. So, one of you, I'm like, what did I ask?
I know. I completely.
One of your little traditions is at the end, like your final performance for a show, you say goodbye for now.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that start, and why do you do it?
Honestly, it really just because it's never goodbye forever. Our industry is so small that, and one never knows the random things have happened where, think I'm leaving this thing, and then you blink your eyes and you're back and you're doing it in Las Vegas for like a few weeks, or you find that 10 years later, the friend that you met on this one show, you're working on another show in the same town, and like it's just the world is small. So when I'm saying goodbye for now, I'm saying it's literally just that. I think it kind of started when I was doing shows as a kid, and you found that the people that you were working with, you were gonna continue to see if you chose to do that, as opposed to we're not bound by this job and this job alone. We've shared an experience together, and because of that, we have a shared vocabulary and shared history that we take with us. And I like that. It's community.
It's community. And community is messy, perfectly messy. It's chaotic. It makes you laugh, and it makes you cry, and it makes you feel all the feels. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're drawn to the theater.
We go through things with each other,
things.
And because life happens, great things and extremely tragic things happen. And the wild thing is, when you think about like someone that's done The Lion King for 20 years, is that show happens every day. I mean, it happens every single day, and like people's lives happen, and yet like that becomes your family in a weird way. So I don't know. May we all be so lucky.
May we all be so lucky. Well, Drew, you brought me so much joy today.
Yeah.
Thank you for being open and honest and letting me troll you just the right amount.
Yeah.
I do love
It's my love
people.
language. It's my love language.
See, when people are really, really, really just nice, I'm like, are we okay?
Yeah, I feel like if you're not dragging me for something, then we're not friends. And it's also, I'm from a huge family, so if we always make fun of each other, it's kind of that's how it's how we show love, I guess.
The way it is all over the place. It is chaotic, and it's fun, and it is life. It's what we're all made to do. Well, you are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here on Had to Ask. And Drew Gehling, goodbye for now. So lovely.
That was really great. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I loved dragging you and trolling you. And
gosh, all good.
This episode of Had to Ask was hosted and produced by me, Melanie Sutrathada. Filming, editing, and co-production by the amazing Joseph Loper. filmed on location at the iconic Stay Gold Suite at the Chatwall in New York City. Make sure to follow, leave a rating, and subscribe. It helps the show grow and gets us one step closer to world domination. See you next time on Had to Ask.